Hello, dears.
Good
If you
morning.
can't tell by my voice, no, I have not been smoking cigarettes for the last 60 years. But I've had this thing going on. I can go into details. I want to say it started with a migraine Tuesday night, Wednesday, kind of a cough drainage situation. Thursday night was like complete, just tired and such. Uh, my husband's birthday was Friday, and I made him make his own dinner because I just needed sleep, and I slept like all day. Um, yeah, and I'm feeling better, but at the same time, it's like an ebb and flow thing. So today, finally, I took some Mucinex because I realized I need outside help with this. I can't just let it run its course. So, Chandra.
I'm glad you're starting to feel better. Actually, I kind of had a bit of a week myself. I was having some other issues and, I was still working and everything, but just kind of, not um, not how I usually I work at my desk, but I just moved to my couch and had all my my heating pad and like all my fluids and
I could have used that.
like just was like here. I live here now, so
Yeah.
and then Dobby was able to be my little comfort buddy. He worries about me when I'm not feeling well, so he was just there with me. Um, and then this morning came into my office, and apparently at some point in time when I was not in my office, my everything shut down. So it's probably good that I wasn't in here while I was working.
Yeah. Oh my god. The like instant. Oh my god. I was in the middle of a document.
Yeah. So that would have been really bad. But I was able for a second there. I thought my computer was done, but we're okay. And if you notice my overhead light flickering, it does that sometimes. I think maybe my office is haunted. I don't know. It's probably fine. So, I don't. Did you already say this? That will be.
Yeah. So due to circumstances, we don't like to tempt fate. So we're just going to do an edit today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fine. But that means there is still sprint time for you to either edit with us or do your own thing. So we got 10 minutes of Chandra and I reading each other's stories and making comments. Then we come back together and talk through the comments and explain with either finding the problem and suggesting a solution, or sometimes just this seems wrong, I can't figure it out, because that happens. But then after that we collaborate the comments and stuff and chime in as you see fit. Any suggestions are open, but we will then go to a 20-minute 20-minute timer, right? Yeah, 20-minute timer to edit based off the suggestions, and then we read our flashes out loud. If you want to read the original story, we're not going to read it out loud because that just takes too much time, and we've already read it once. These stories were read on episode 12. The link is in the description of Flash Fiction Live, and it was the bonus story. It is called Following the Wrong Star, and I hold it near and dear because I know that this story is like the one where I went really dark, and Chandra's like, Natalie, it was like a proud moment. Thank you. I heard a thump, and it was the Gatorade that I just yelled for them to give me, and the Gatorade's on the bed. But Chandra had a proud mommy moment of me growing up. And I actually, if I remember correctly, I don't think Chandra killed anyone in this one. I haven't read her story again yet. But it was this episode, we just switched places. So, yeah. All right. I got to do this because anytime my voice is like this, I feel like I have to do the typical pretending I've been smoking and go, where's the shoes? It has been a inside joke for 12 years. And there was this guy that always did. This guy did I worked with him, and he did like funny stuff all the time. And one of that was always like saying, "Where's the shoes?" and like talking like this, which I wish I could make this voice
I feel like you do.
when I'm not sick, because this is like a perfect voice for voiceover.
Yeah.
But back to the point. He'd also do things when he would see an attractive girl walk in, he would stand up on the stool, pretend he's pulling an arrow out of a quiver.
Like he's Cupid.
Like just completely dumb stuff. So either way, but I had to do that just because I hear my voice right now. Other than that, it's just sinuses. And in other good news, even despite being sick, I was able to run Monday and Wednesday of last week. But now that I'm like needing more sleep, I've decided to not run.
Yeah.
Just to be nice to myself, because I want to be over this quicker, not worry about working out and being sick. So
Yeah.
nix the
Sometimes when you're on the mend, a good workout helps, but then sometimes I feel like you do it and you're like, oh, that was not the move.
Since Alex's birthday was Friday, and he got off work really late, we didn't want to go to dinner because we're like senior citizens when it comes to dinner. We want to eat at like 5. But so we went out to eat instead for lunch yesterday to a local Mexican restaurant. Like, I'm talking authentic, hole in the wall. Alex pulls up and goes, "Should we go in?" I'm like, we're going in. That, like, I know this area, like I know it looks shady, but I swear that means the food is the best. Mm-hmm. And I was right. But
there's a place like that near me, and I would go. It was like next to a laundromat, so I would go, and that was kind of my like bribery to get myself.
That's like all the places that I've gone out to eat, except one that was downtown. Every place that I've gone out to eat with my work, because they like to eat a lot, and I'm like, sure, fine, I'll go. It's hole in the walls, and they have the best food. It is so good. Yeah. So, either way, I was right, but I will say, having the Mexican food cleared this up for like a good 2 hours afterwards. Like, perfect. I was
spicy, all the things.
Yes. So hopefully, I think I'll get like some hot wings or something for lunch and get some Texas Pete, whatever I need to just clear this up. Yeah. And I actually took Mucinex, so we'll see how it goes.
Lots of water.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, I'm going to grab this Gatorade because my water's low, so I think on one of the sprints, I'll refill that.
Yeah. Good plan. I also need to hydrate, and then I'm going to have to, I'm covering, I don't usually work on Sundays, but I'm covering third shift tonight, so I'm going to
take a nap. Oh, no, you can't take a nap. You got other obligations going on. That's right. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, honey.
But it should be earlier in the day, so I think I might still get in a power nap, but I am going to stop and get some energy drinks.
Here's to us both getting power naps today.
Yes.
I think we're both going to need it for different reasons. So
yeah.
All right. I'm going to.
Busy week.
Hey, at least you get paid. So it was an interesting conversation I had with my husband. He hasn't, for anyone who doesn't know, he's been a stay-at-home dad for like 10, 11 years. And so now that we moved here and both kids are school age, he's been able to start back working. And thank goodness he's been able to work. I'm noticing a change in him interacting with other adults and stuff. Like, I feel like it's been really good for our marriage for him to be out. Downside is that means I'm in charge of a lot of the household stuff now on top of working, but I get to work from home sometimes. So I do have that balance, a little bit of easierness, especially because unlike him, I'm outsourcing and I got a robot vacuum and such. So, I'm smarter.
Bless you.
God, I hate it.
You're on the mend. Just keep telling yourself that. I'm on the mend. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Yes, hi. I swear, I'm fine. I'm just tearing up. Okay, but back to the point. But it was this reflective moment of what you go through and find fine could be good news to someone else. Let me finish coughing.
And that's on Gatorade. Not
Yeah.
sponsored.
I know sugar's not good, but honestly, I think I need electrolytes
Oh yeah.
more than anything. Okay. So the situation was that my husband started working, and one of the other guys there who works with them, but he does a different job. Apparently, this other guy makes like on the low end, it's $200 more per week than my husband does. That's fine. I'm the breadwinner, and I have been for 10 years. But it was an interesting take because he's looking at my husband like, oh my God, how do you survive? And then we're looking at him going, you're complaining for $200 more than what he makes. But then here's where you got to take into account what other people go through. The other guy, he's the sole provider. His wife's a stay-at-home mom, and they got like 4 kids and everything. So that money accounts for a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a greater understanding.
That makes a big difference. That you never know, like, two people making the same salary having completely different backgrounds, different starting points.
Like, I never had student loans, whereas my sister does, like astronomically, or she did.
I saw a thing. It was talking about like what privilege looked like, and it had everybody start on the same line, and then it would be like if you had,
if you were raised by both your
home,
parents,
yeah, take 2 steps forward. If you always had books in the house, take a step forward. And it was like going through all these different things that you don't think about, but it's like also they talk about that from like a kid's perspective, but also from the adult's perspective of like, right, starting with, did you have student loans? Like,
I saw that video, and then I saw another video that used the audio, but it was a mother-daughter, and the line underneath said "break the cycle." And the daughter was able to step forward with like every answer, but the mother
was still
never was able to step forward with the answers. And I was like, that is beautiful and mind-blowing.
Yeah. I don't know if you see my light spazzing out, but I rest my case about it being haunted, I guess. Yeah, no, I like stuff like that. I think it's important to recognize what the difference is.
Yeah, having candid conversations, but not like, it's also a thing of like, you can't compare yourself to others. Just because you see someone driving a newer, better car than you doesn't mean they're doing better.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because car payments are wild. I know, I guess I have a perspective on that of like, it depends on what a person, like if a person really finds a lot of value in the vehicle that they drive and that brings them a lot of joy, then like knock yourself out. But for me, that's not a big deal. So
yeah,
I just I'm like, do I have to repair it all the time? No. Okay, cool. Does the air conditioner work?
My vehicle I've had since 2015, and it's paid off. And actually, the fact that it's paid off and I don't have to pay for it anymore, like, I'm just
best car of the world.
I'm loving it, and of course I got like my budget spreadsheet, and deleting that line from the monthly spreadsheet was just like glorious, and I can't wait to delete more lines.
Yeah. Well, that's that, and then sometimes you find out like their car payment is through the roof. And I mean, there's other cases too where you see the person's car and it's like you don't know that they rebuilt it from scratch.
Yeah, or they had a family member pass away and gifted them the car, you
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah, there's so many different things where you're like, oh, I've got to go out and buy hi cool gamer. I've got to go out and buy that same car or a car that's as nice as that one, and it's like this person isn't.
wear shoes and stuff, and
Mm-hmm. Oh, for me, that would definitely be. I'm like, no, no more shoes for you. you don't, you don't have shoe budget right now, and I'm
yeah.
like, but yeah, I think that's a really good point of, you know, um, something that's like a nice to have for one person might be like a luxury for another person, and
And
way
what's
out of
bad
reach.
for someone might be good for another person, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
manageable versus, yeah. Nah, I agree. It was just like a nice moment, a nice little reminder. And
Mm-hmm. A
not that
gratitude moment.
I don't like to think that I'm closed minded to the struggles of others, but I do like to be reminded of what other people go through.
Yeah. Well, I think it's easy when, I mean, because you're living your own life, and the things that are difficult or frustrating for you are the things that you see every day and that are like, they're right under your nose. So you don't really think about it from that perspective until someone else's struggle really comes into your view. And then I feel like that's the important thing, is that you're not blind to it when it is within your view. Not that you're not ignoring it, you see it and you appreciate the differences. um, and it's not like you're not trying to see it either. It's just, you're not being nosy.
Yep.
I think there's a balance. I think that's a good thing.
So speaking of nosy, let's be nosy about our stories. I'm pretty good with the segues.
That was a great segue.
Yeah. So here's the two stories. These were bonuses for episode 12. The prompt was following the wrong star. I forget. And also, it doesn't matter what the 10 words were.
Mm-hmm.
Because now our focus is making the story better, not challenging ourselves to use words in a creative way. So my story is here. Chandra's story is here. I got 10 minutes on the clock. We're going to read through each other's stories. You do have it open, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to read through each other's stories, put comments, suggested edits, and then we're going to come back together and talk through those so that we can make these better. And then after we edit, talk through our comments, we will then do a 20-minute timer, put in those comments, and read the stories out loud. We break, I will say this, for anyone who's writing and learning to write, the one rule that we break that you shouldn't break is to immediately put your first draft or even second draft out there for someone else to critique. We're doing it to show you how every first draft can be rough and wrong and there's room for improvement. We don't recommend you doing it. So that is the one writing rule we break. Everything else, yeah, sure. I'm sure actually there's more, but that's the one that's like really prevalent of just throwing your stuff out there the moment you like wrote on a blank page like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. You don't dig up a seedling and throw it in the sun with its roots out.
Yeah. So it works. You got to cultivate it. All right. I'm going to get this started in 3, 2, 1. Time is up. All right. I forgot about your story and reading it. I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, we got a lot of people who popped in.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Adrian, Maggie. How are y'all doing? And thanks for the boops. Ooh, heading to a barbecue. That sounds good.
Nice.
Okay. Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay. So I got some notes in here. I read through everything.
Just a few, like you just rewrote Moby Dick.
just a smidge. Actually, a lot of what I was doing was asking for more. So I read through everything and added comments, and then I went back through and added a note over the whole story.
Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to point out is here you say the older brother and then mention the little brother. And when you have that older brother and the little brother, you've done the same thing twice. If you identify who the older brother is, then we automatically know the other one is younger. Or if you say the little brother, we automatically know the other one in the setting is the elder. So I was just saying to switch that out and give us a little bit more in that description of like, maybe give us the name of the older brother and then say his little brother. That way,
I should have moved the name sooner because we got. It's not until the 4th paragraph that we get mom calling them for dinner.
Yes. So I did actually. That's one of the notes that I had added in here. Then I was also confused about the name because Barry was. I guess I was like, who's Barry? Because of the description, it's kind of an odd name for a boy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it just kind of surprised me. So
I think I might have misspelled it. It should be like Barry.
Oh, okay. Then that would fix that. I was going to say, just give us, is it a family name? Like what's with the name? But that makes sense. I changed just the tense of this from smolder to smoldering. My other question I had at the end was, why are they playing with the candle on a beach? I think they're at the beach.
Yeah.
So I was a little confused about why they're playing with the candle at the beach, but it was also never specifically stated. I don't think that it's a beach. It's just that it's on a sand dune.
So I need to like have the waves sounds behind them or something like that to.
Yeah, and maybe they take the candle out there so that they don't get any like wax on the carpet or something like that. And they're supposed to be outside. I don't know, a little bit more. And then, so when the accident happens, the big thing that I had is give me a little bit more detail because he seems to like teleport from the top of the hill to his brother. And there's not a lot, like we're missing a lot of really good details that could be in here. And then there was a little bit of confusion too, going back and forth between their points of view about which one is which. And I was also confused here because I didn't realize that Rich was the younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what we talked about at the beginning. That would be helpful there. And then again, when we're talking about the tears turning pink, I wasn't sure or clear about whose face they were on and why it was turning pink, because previously it was mentioned that he started coughing, sprinkling his own face with red dots. So if the red dots are on his face, but his brother is crying, then why are his tears turning pink?
Yeah, I imagine it hitting his brother's face.
So, and that's what I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I need to clarify that.
Yeah, so when it says it's on his own face, it never says specifically that it's also getting on both of them. And then
because I was going for is that word I can't say, but third person.
Omniscient third person.
Yeah.
I'm not so good at that, but I see where you're going. So I can't tell you how to make it better, but I could just say,
here's the problem.
hey, Veronica and Eva, welcome.
Hi, dears.
So yeah, I can't give you any more support aside from identifying.
Nah, it's enough for me. Like I can get through it.
So my overall feedback after I went back from reading everything was I'd like more description and setting, who the brothers are, how they relate to each other, and a little more about why they're playing with the candle at the beach. But yes,
sounds good.
I do like your sad dark story.
I know you do. You liked it last time, and you're like, "Ow, Natalie,
Yeah,
it hurts."
so mean. Like I was literally, especially with your style, I was expecting them to just like trot up the hill and go home and have some nice hot soup for dinner. I hear you, ma'am. Just a minute. I don't know if you hear the puppy yodels in the back.
Just a little bit. You need to let her out?
Yeah. Let me do that real quick.
Okay. I can hold down the fort. All right. Chat, feel free to chime in. Yeah, I think I got some ideas of how to make this better, clearer, with clear understanding. Definitely need to do find a replace of BERR to BARRY. We'll get there. That'll be fine. I think I might have to read through this, but I will definitely be adding lots of words to this when we go through it. With Chandra's story, where Chandra made a lot of comments with Chandra's story, I made a lot of suggestions. And I think once I finished, I did like a comb over to make comments. I really like Chandra's story. It's got this sci-fi element to it. So far behind. I understand. We accept being on watch later. My watch later list is like 100 videos. I feel so bad. I need to be up on it.
I can't even look at my watch later list. It's like a giant, overwhelming bear at this point. Okay, I'm back and I'm ready.
So I was talking with my story, you did mostly comments and everything, whereas I did mostly suggestions with your story. And then I did an overarching comment of how to make it better.
Okay.
First thing is a lot of times it was just making lines hit harder, and so breaking up the paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
And so in here, I just cut down and said saving fuel instead of without using additional fuel. Bonuses, it would only cost us a little time instead of it wouldn't cost us anything other than time. And then I braced for the crash, but there was none. Instead of the hurt, I expected to come. She's bracing. We know the expectation. So I was just kind of, it felt consistent. I remember incest was a word that we had to use, and I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I understood the use, but at the same time, I was like, eh. So I just deleted that entirely. And then the first comment I had was I felt that this line here set the scene better. Like this could be your first line to the whole story. And then you say, it's consistent if not overwhelming, talking about space. So we have a setting immediately in our head. We're like, oh, space, sci-fi. Like I just feel it sets the story so great. And then you can go into following the wrong star. What a rookie mistake. And then you kind of go from there. Mm-hmm. The only thing is that then you would have to delete this but, and then instead of saying from this perspective, or you might have to re-explain where they are again when you start this paragraph. here instead of since the second paragraph it's all about covering up the mistake and stuff. So I'm not sure if it will be clear if we say this perspective.
Gotcha.
So
one thing,
yeah.
The reason I didn't say crash or impact is because there's not a solid object that
it's a film.
Right, so she doesn't know what to expect, but she's expecting it to be like a painful death.
So yeah, it's
maybe I describe how she feels. Like describe the fear that she has instead of saying a sensation.
There we go.
Describe the expectation of a sensation.
Yeah. Like, is it going to affect the shields of the ship, or is it electrical? Is the entire ship going to shut down and everything? I'll get back to that highlight of myself. That's an explanation. I cut down. This was me just like putting that emphasis, putting breaks in the paragraphs. Really. Fix damned, because I figured you meant not a water dam.
Yeah.
But so when I went back, I was like, I need something more. And I thought, oh shoot, did that cancel entirely? Damn it. God. 2 seconds.
Oh, tensed, cringed. I like those. That's good.
Okay. Ooh. There we go. Eva, our lovely dear. Okay. We're talking about the what I would call the older person and the younger person in the cabin. Like, where are they standing? Are they standing in the same place? Like, almost like overlaying? Like, you remember playing Mario Kart Ghost Mode and how you could be in the exact line?
I'm not familiar, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So imagine them both standing here, but sometimes someone else's arms would move that aren't theirs, and then their arms move. It's because I imagine they're in the same place since it's such a short amount of time. And does the younger person, are they aware of the older them? Can the older person affect the space at all? Like switches, buttons, or whatever. Like, I just wanted some interaction, some spatial setup here.
Yeah.
To understand how this was working.
I feel like you start telling me these things, and then I start spacing out immediately because my brain is like trying to solve what you're saying. But that's good.
I feel like every single time we make suggestions for editing, that after we make the suggestions, we like our minds just flow from there. Like, we build off. It's like a little bit of a spark and stuff. So, and speaking of spark, Adrienne, with Spark, it's been a while since I've read because I've been sick. But Migs just saw the Pyramid of Giza. Hopefully that doesn't give away anybody who hasn't read the book, but that's where I'm at. Your mom? How old are you?
What about her?
Speaking of mom, here comes mine. What's up?
Me and Dad, they went up attic.
Y'all went into the attic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I put on my sandals.
Thank you. This just in, my husband went up to the attic with my son, and my son put on his sandals so he could go up into the attic. We are now back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right.
Yeah, Eva, I'm gonna go with your call.
Time them out. Yeah, cool. We'll go with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it was random. Like, I don't know. Though I am all for the, like, your mom comments because it's
But,
hilarious.
like,
It's right up there with, like, that's what she said.
we like to know who you are first, though. Just
Yeah, you can't come in with the jokes
like,
right away.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Yeah.
Your mom.
All right.
Sorry, I'm done.
My husband's fixing the what is it called?
Oh, you know how I got that electric scrub brush?
Yeah.
I still haven't used it yet. I need to.
Okay.
Maybe I'll clean the shower today and give it a whirl.
Oh my gosh. The puns.
I'm sorry.
Spin it around.
Take it out for a spin.
How far can we go on this?
I'm gonna brush up on my cleaning.
I feel like I made a drinking game. Every time I cough, I drink water.
This is a good drinking game. This is healthy.
Legit. So, all right, I just gotta work on my screen. Give me 2 seconds so I can focus. Carry on.
Thank
Emoji.
you all for humoring me. I'm really excited about this edit because I have some ideas.
The key is not to forget our ideas. The issue is when you have multiple edits that you want to make in a story, and you're like, oh, I want to make this and this and this, but you like start working in one area, you hope you don't forget about the other areas that you're hoping to correct.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say correct, actually. I feel like that's a wrong mindset to have when you're editing your stuff. I gotta correct it. Be like, no, I have to polish it. Like it's there. We just gotta make it. We gotta make it shine. All right. It's you pull the gem out of the world, out of the earth. Now let's polish it and shine. Make it shine.
Eva, both Natalie and I have power naps scheduled for later in the day, so I'm gonna go ahead and vote for a nap. Hi JC, how are you? It has been a minute.
Yeah, I vote for a nap. 100%.
Adrian, have fun at the day job. Don't work too hard.
Yeah,
work just hard enough.
I don't have work tomorrow, which is probably good. But here's the BS with the world right now. My reality right now. All my sickness has been after work. Like my migraine came after work. Needing a nap was after work on Thursday. Friday, I was like just in and out of sleep all day and everything. Still took care of the kids. Oh wait, no, they were at school, so it was finally a day to me. That's right. But when they got home, I took care of them. And Saturday, sick. I'm still kind of recovering today. I don't work tomorrow, and I bet you I'm going to be 100% come Tuesday when I can start back work. I bet you.
Do you know, though, I do that sometimes where it's like I'm not feeling super great today, but I know that I'm well enough to sit in a chair and do work, so I'm going to do that because I'd be feeling terrible whether or not I was sitting in the chair and doing work. So as long as I'm able to like stay awake and be nice to people, I still go to work because, you know, I want to save. If I have to take sick leave, I want it to be because I'm unwell. Also, Kelly, I totally called you Veronica earlier because I was like, because it's.
I mean, same person.
Yeah. But I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if people knew why I was doing that. So.
Oh,
because Veronica came. Anyway, yeah. So edits.
Yeah, now it's edit. Sorry, I'm writing the banner thing.
Oh, you're good.
Edit.
I'm so excited.
We have so many numbers, and I like how we actually kind of came to a solution with our numbers of there's episodes of Flash, but edit number this. So that way we're not like
totally confused.
Yeah, because if it was Flash episode this, edit episode this, oh my god, I would I think my head feels warm. Or my hand is cold. It could be both.
It's possible.
It's fine. I got a nap scheduled.
Many names, call me whatever. Okay, whatever. So sorry.
They call me Stacy. They call me Kim. That's not my name. I do the lame joke of like, you can call me whatever, just not late for dinner.
I just, for some reason today, like all of my my like jokes are coming out, and I'm sorry about that.
I'm not. I mean, we just got to realize you're a faux pas. You're welcome.
Thank you for that. That was excellent.
I'm here for it. All right. Wait. Saying many names, and then I've been rewatching Game of Thrones. Well, Alex has been rewatching Game of Thrones, and then I watch it as a smidge when it's on, because we got to do it when the kids go to bed. But I go to bed shortly after the kids go to bed. Either way. But seeing many names, I immediately think the many named god or many face god or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, the many face god.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that everyone knows that this comes from that, but I always say a girl has questions. And
yeah.
And I feel like people just like let me have that one, but I'm like, do you know what I'm talking about though?
Oh my god. Alex made a reference the other day at work, and it was like something really freaking popular, and I'm trying to remember what it was, like what movie he referenced. And it was a popular movie, like cult classic, everyone's seen it, and whoever he said it to, they just looked at him blankly. And Home Alone. It was from Home Alone. And I'm just trying to remember the line that he said, and I don't feel like chasing him down. But it was from Home Alone, so a popular movie, like, and everything that's been out for a long time. And he said the line, and he's like, "It's from Home Alone." And she goes, "Yeah, I've seen Home Alone." And he goes, "But she didn't laugh. Like, she couldn't remember that line was associated to Home Alone. And it wasn't like You Filthy Animal, that one, but it was one of the other ones."
You know,
Buzz, when he goes into his brother's room, and he goes, "Buzz, your girlfriend, woof." That line.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's really popular that I didn't watch until I was like an older adult, and now when people reference it, I'm like, unless it's one of the movies that I like had on hand that I watched 84,000 times, I don't remember it. So for me, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, and pretty much any line someone could say from that, I'll be like, I know exactly where this is. Like someone posted once, and they were like, "What's the next line of this movie?" And they put in, the question was, what was the first dialogue spoken by Captain Jack Sparrow in the movie? And I was like, this one's for me. But yeah, I think it's yeah, I think it really just depends on what it is and how integrated it was in your childhood, whether or not you remember it.
Well, and then even now, like, so I constantly think about Homeward Bound, because when my son calls for the dogs, he has that little high-pitched boy voice. So it reminds me of the little boy in Homeward Bound going, "Chance, come here, boy." So
But I've only ever seen that one time that we watched it that really hurt my feelings that I was upset
yep,
about.
you're welcome.
Oh, why'd you do that to me?
Get up, Shadow. Shadow, get up. He was too old.
It's rude.
Well, on that note, let's, make us cry more and edit.
Yep.
All right. 20 seconds on the clock.
20 minutes.
Feel free to sprint with
20
us
minutes.
and get whatever you need done.
20 minutes, not 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I'm not all here, so we're going to see what I could throw out on the story. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, the timer's done, but I'm not yet. I'm in like the last 2 paragraphs.
I finished. Piper slipped her lead. My neighbor brought her back over because she was running around and set his dog off barking.
Oh,
So she's safely back in the house, but she hasn't done that before. So I'm going to have to look at her collar and maybe get her a new one. And then I also got distracted because there was an Amber Alert in my area. So
those for me, those are always hard to read, and I hate it. Feels like anytime I get the notice of a vehicle, I'm not driving. And so like I'm like, should I go driving out? Like I want to help, but at the same time I also know the likelihood.
Yeah.
Upside is that it goes out to everybody.
I just look at them like, you know, a lot of times it's not even in my immediate area, but I still look at them just in case because you never know.
Okay, I think I fixed it all. All right. Whew. Home from church. Hey, cat. Switched laundry over. Got work tonight. Need clothes for work. Yeah, that's important. And thank you for playing us on mute. I would also put us on mute. All right. So I am going to read your story. I'm curious to see your growth and movement. My God. We definitely added some words. There we go. Okay. From the other side of the planet, the blackness of space has stretched before us, consistent, if overwhelming. We were following the wrong star. What a rookie mistake. Should have known better. But looping around the dark side of the planet had the desired effect. I used its gravitational force to slingshot us into our desired course. It would bring us back on track, saving fuel. That was a good thing. An easy way to cover my mistake. That was a good thing. An easy way to cover my mistake. And I wouldn't have to say outright what I had done. Bonus, it would have only cost us a little time. As we followed the updated plan, a translucent shimmer stretched out before the nose of the ship. There was no way to course correct, no time to test the vicious membrane. I tensed, not knowing what to expect when we passed through the field. I felt hollow inside, fear and expectation flooding in. What, really, dog? Fear and expectation flooding in with the flavor of bile. I was going to be sick. What if I heard? God, sorry, I can't not. Okay, what if it hurt? What if it crushed us to death or ripped us apart? It could change something else, something unseen, our very DNA. There was simply no way of knowing, no path but forward. There was nothing. This was the tax on my mistake, the uncertainty of what I had done. In a flash of light, we were back on the other side of the planet. Only I was outside myself, watched my fateful decision. The known future stretched out before me, a wrinkle where time doubled back on itself, in itself. I looked around the cabin. It was just me, shifting, uncertain in the moment of decision, trying to decide how to correct the errant course. Nothing had changed. Hold on, I got a cough. I'm glad coughs aren't like, and sneezes are similar where you know it's coming. Hold on.
That does help.
Everything had changed. A shift in perspective, body and mind. I moved my arm, but a shadow remained where it had been. Another arm. Vestigial translucent. The me in the ship at the helm had yet to notice. The new me stepped out of myself, no longer sharing the same physical space. It looked at its hands, examining the physical form and their original copy, one knowing, the other about to learn. I turned to look at myself without speech. Understanding dawned. What would happen if we went through again? Would there be a third? What future would they see? And I, at the helm, rake my hand through my hair as if I was thinking through the choice to be made. But adventure was calling me, and I had already decided. Were there other worlds out there? I had read Dune. I wanted to see what it was like in a time both present and past, where Star Wars happened and Star Trek took place. There was a reason I had asked to be on this mission, on this interstellar flight. And I would be damned if I let a few nerves stop me. We all knew the risk when we signed up, but this was science. So I turned the ship behind the planet once more, this time without fear. I let the veil pass over me. Then there were 4 of us. Whew, I love this. So there's only 2 things that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about us traveling, but I'm assuming it's the entire crew, but they're alone on the bridge and everything. So if that was a little bit clearer. Then I got a little confused of whether they but I think that it's the younger me doesn't see older me.
Other way around.
Really? No, older me sees younger me, but younger me does not see older me.
No. Okay. So, it's weird because there's 3 perspectives, right? So there's two. There, the one person who was like piloting the ship originally, and it's like, say that person's printed on a piece of paper, right? And then you run the same piece of paper through the printer again and print the same image on top as 1 and 2. So they're not aware of each other, but they're also not aware that there's an omniscient version of the 2 of them that originated at the same moment. So even though they're aware of the 2, they become aware of the 2 copies and then the 4 copies of themselves, they are not aware of the 5th omniscient perspective that was generated in all of this.
Okay. Interesting.
But that's not particularly clear.
No.
Or stated outright.
So is the 5th one
mm-hmm.
that is overarching, is that the same person as the person that's controlling the ship, just older?
Just more conscious, yes.
Okay.
I would say it would be the combined consciousness, so it would be like the almost the queen ant, like sending the other physical worker bees around, so they can see the big picture. They can see from their perspective still.
I also had an idea of like, well, why doesn't the ship double? But then I thought, what if there's a plant in the ship helm that doubles itself? Like you see an outline shimmer. I mean, obviously it doesn't move. But you see a shimmer or something and you know it doubled. And so it's this idea that living things are doubled, but non-living things aren't. And stuff. So that was just a quick idea that I had because it was asking a question and then answering my own question.
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
But yeah. I think it's just outside my hat. You put it in my hat and I moved it out of my hat.
So I think that's good, though. The things that need clarification are not, it's not so much edits, it's more of like expanding on an idea and making the idea clear.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
And I will read yours.
Bring it on. I can take it.
I'm very excited. Two brothers stepped off of the planked path from their house onto the cool sand of the beach. They set down their flashlight, not needing its guidance for a few more minutes of sunset. The smaller brother sat down to take off his shoes. The oldest kicked off his sandals, then tapped his younger brother's shoulder. He sprinted away and shouted over his shoulder, "Tag, Rich, you're it." "Barry, no fair," Rich said as he ran after him. Barry slowed his pace so Rich could tag him. Running in the sand was difficult anyway. This was the place where no one could hurt them. They didn't hear the gossip of the town stating they were the products of incest or their family was nothing more than tax leeches. They could be kids. As the sun dropped below the horizon, Barry and Rich returned to their flashlight in the sand. Barry put his fingers to his lips and pulled out a box of matches and a 3-wick candle to light between them. When the wax melted, they took turns dipping their fingers. It turned opaque and then cracked in the wrinkles of their curled fingers. "Barry? Rich?" their mother called. Her voice was followed by the dinner bell. Rich grabbed his socks and shoes, then reached for a nearby rake to help him climb the sand dune to the wooden path. Barry slipped on his sandals and grabbed the now smoldering candle before climbing the dune. He called over his shoulder as he ran diagonally towards the wooden path. "Hurry up! You don't want to be late, rookie!" When he reached the top, he saw his little brother lying face down on top of the rake. Dropping the flashlight, Barry slid down the dune, almost running into Rich's body at the bottom. He rolled Rich onto his back. Rich's arms were pinned to his chest by the rake's teeth. There was a hissing sound every time his chest rose. Rich's eyes searched the night sky until he locked on his star brother. His eyes softened as he started to cough, sprinkling both their faces with dots of red. Rich opened and closed his mouth a few times, unable to speak. "Shh," Barry said. "I know it hurts, but soon it won't anymore. Just promise you'll wait for me in the future. Save me a seat, okay?" Barry smiled with only his mouth, tears starting to stream down his cheeks, turning pink before they reached his chin. Why so sad?
I don't know what I was going on in my life at this time and why I wanted to like make siblings suffer.
Hurt everyone's feelings. It's
Yeah.
fine. So this only came to me afterwards, but at the beginning, they weren't talking about the rake being with them.
Yeah, so I fixed it to where there was a rake nearby, because I noticed that when I was editing, it was like, and he grabbed the rake that we brought with him to use as a walking stick, and I was like, okay, let's just let it be leaning. Where was it? And then reach for a nearby rake to help him climb, and I just said nearby rake.
Gotcha.
Like it was just there.
I would like to know where it comes from.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it was like very short in it, like it wasn't even in the original feedback that I gave you, but it didn't occur to me till afterwards, and I was like, well, why is there a rake at the beach? Although I think, like if there's some caretakers or whatever, they'll like rake stuff up on the beach to like cleaning the beach.
Yeah.
No, this is a really good one, and it's super sad, and also I can't help but thinking of like the mom getting like annoyed with them for like dilly-dallying,
but it's actually
yeah, that just the whole so mean, so good, but so sad. You're muted.
Thank you. I was not on my screen. I'm about to compare timeline. 415 words. All right.
I know I went from 300 and something to 521.
Yeah. Okay. Now
And what did you start with?
I don't remember what I started with, but I can tell you in a second because I got a spreadsheet.
You're at 415 now.
I'm opening up my spreadsheet to see what I had. My goal is every time I edit, and I don't know why I started doing this because it will happen as it happens. You can't like force a story in my mind. But I was at 297 before, and I like to have it grow.
Is that Salty's Gaming? Hello? I definitely read that, and I was trying, I feel like, too hard with it, and I was Solities. That's interesting. I wonder what Solities is. It is time for my nap.
Yes. I grew 186 words. All right, cool. All right, it is nap time for both of us. Yeah. So thank you everybody for coming by. Appreciate it. Normally we would do a flash afterwards, but Chandra has plans this afternoon and has to work overnight. I have been sick the entire time I've been off work because the universe is working against me. Yeah, and by all means, everyone in chat connect with each other. There is people. Chandra streams on Twitch.
I haven't in a while,
and I haven't been on Twitch in a long while. I do want to get back to it, but I'm trying. I moved recently, and I'm still trying to. Like, I'm not working from home as much as I was, and with my husband now working, it's any streaming would be impeding our time together. So we're gonna see how it works out. I can do Flash Fiction live. It's the extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Hope you got some work done, even if it was just some self-care or laughter. And we appreciate you coming by. And we will see y'all next week on Chandra's channel, if we're still good for that, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.